A long time has passed from my review of the Fear 6. I loved this big mecha design, but the setup experience has been quite scary. Yet, I purchased the Fear V too, which is even larger given the size of the box. I mean, this box is huge. Maybe the largest I ever got from Joytoy, only the 40k Redemptor Dreadnought, maybe it is a competitor here. My hope is that this time the setup will be easier than the Fear 4, or will this be another bloodbath? Let's find out. Hopefully, it will be easier to extract. Great foam box with a cover too. Okay, it was easier than expected, good sign I hope. An instruction leaflet is included too. It seems quite thin, and if it is like the other Fear mecha, it will be mostly useless, I'm sure of that. After removing the transparent cover, the first step is to extract the endoskeleton, pretty much the same I did with the Fear 6 mecha in the past. Well, the head is easy to remove at least, and to plug it back. Again, similar to the previous one. Looking at the weapons, we have two of these huge triple-barreled guns and lots of stripes that I'm sure it will be fun to tie according to necessities. I always appreciate the painting application for Joytoy mechas, and this is not different. The metallic looking plastic parts all have this battle-worn look that I love. And talking about armor plates, this boy is going to be covered by these chunky parts all around the limbs and the main body. Given the painful process in attaching these parts, I start to understand why it is called Fear. So many parts and stripes to attach to the main body, legs armor, arms armor plates, and these omnipresent cloth pouches. Yup. They can open, but why would you do that? Then we have these huge jet engines, I guess. Okay, it is called Airborne Assault Mecha, but there is no way two of these can lift this beast or even slow down its fall on the ground. But again, this is sci-fi mecha technology, so everything is possible, and maybe it can scare the ground like a dumb mobile suit. Then more plates, pouches and other small bits that will have to be attached one way or the other. You know the drill. And just to give an idea of what it is expecting us, here are all the parts on the ground for easy inspection. Old memories continue to reappear in my mind. From now on, it is just a patient work of understanding which part goes where, how to tie the different strings, and, you know, the real fun things that you expect to do with this mecha line. Okay, finally done. It took me quite some time to assemble everything. Instructions are not really clear, and that was expected, and there are multiple ways for placing things. So it is more of a trial and error process, and you are probably getting it assembled in your own peculiar way. Well, it adds to its unique design, I guess. But now that I can take a look at it, fully assembled and ready for armament, I am satisfied. It looks impressive, a real war machine, well armored, powerful and ready to dominate the battlefield. Well, at least while you don't try to change the pose or swap weapon loadout. In fact, the entire assembly is pretty fiddly. The armor plates are secured only by the stripes and they get loose easily when you change the pose. The pilot can now proudly show in front of its god of war, hopefully without risking that it falls on his head. And finally getting to the armament. The huge missile pods are as cool as they are another nightmare. The most common pose that you can think of, it is carrying them like shopping bags. Depending on your tastes, it may look super cool or super ridiculous. The hands had to carry most of the weight, but you can always tighten the stripes so that they are not that loose. Since they usually rest on the shoulders, it is a big help for the arms and hands. Well, at least while you don't try to change the pose or swap weapon loadout. In fact, the entire assembly is pretty fiddly. The armor plates are secured only by the stripes and they get loose easily when you change the pose. And despite its ratcheted joints, there are some parts, like the hip joints, which tend to give away while you are trying to play with it. So it happens that while you are arming it with a gun, it just falls down, and when it does, you can rest assured that some armor plates are detached, or more probably, that the entire jet engines or missile pods fall down, and they break in multiple pieces that you have to reassemble again and again. It is pretty annoying. It looks amazing, but it is a nightmare to pose. My favorite pose is to use one single gun pod and wield it with two hands. The shoulders can move forward just a tiny bit, so it is possible to have almost a normal fire position. You can probably even get better results if you have more patience, but this is good enough for me. But of course there are many options, only limited by your creativity. For example, we can leave one shopping bag on the ground and point to something cool on the horizon, maybe an enemy to obliterate. Again, it is awesome to look at. I love the design and the multi-eyed head is a chef kiss. By the way, found the enemy, just raise your weapon and open fire. And this is how I wanted it in my display. For sure, it dwarfs the 125 scale steel bones. Lol, they look like midgets side to side. And since we compared it to a dome, let's add a goof custom to the comparison with no real reason. I can't compare it with the Fear 6 since it is in a secret location, but I can easily guess that this one is larger. But I had Tyrant 02 available for comparison. It is smaller than the Fear 5, but it is a pleasure to pose. Die-cast skeleton and no stripes around. Put a like on this video and comment if you would like to see its review in the future. And let's add some other 118 figures for more comparison bonanza, including one of my beloved 9th Army's exosuits. But would I advise you to grab it? Only if you love the design and can endure the assembly process. If you like to play and pose your mechas, just grab a Tyrant. They are much better. Well, having said that, I wish you a nice rest of the day, and please put a like on this video, at least in solidarity for the assembly process. Thank you.